What's up, guys? This is Pedro from My Stuttering Life, where you will hear the good, the bad, the very ugly. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna cry, but through it all, just know that you are not alone. So, let's get started. This is episode number 125, and my special guest is Joe Dilling. Having left the Army at the start of this year, Joe Dilling is now a personal trainer where he works in person and online. Joe has had a stammer since a young age, but hasn't let it stop him from getting to where he wants to be in life. Now, Joe uses his experience in the Army, personal training experience, and social media presence to help people improve their confidence through exercise. I am honored to have him as a guest with me on the My Stuttering Life podcast. Welcome, Joe Dilling.
How are you?
I am awesome, sir. I thank you for being here. This is a huge honor. We have a lot of topics to cover, so let's get started.
Awesome, mate.
All right. So, do you remember when you first began to stutter?
I think I started in stuttering at the age of seven or eight in school, and I sort of I don't notice it in the in Reddit Ishtar, as I just sort of like I say if I'm there or not, and that is its first instance. I knew I had a stutter and something indifferent.
Does it run in your family? Are there any family members who stutter?
Not at my knowledge. There's I'm not really checked into it too much, but I'm not even unsure if having a stammer or stutter is actually a genetic thing, or if it is just a one-off. I have to sort of of chickens that I researched that in more depth.
Well, let me tell you, Joe. My mom, she had a stutter, and so she had it at a young age, and then in her teen years, she had told herself, Joe. She told herself, "I'm done with this. I'm done with it," and she stopped. I don't know. It's a head scratcher. I have no clue how she did it, but she told herself that she was done with it, and it went away. Okay, now for me, I don't know. If I was going to get it from her. However, how I acquired my stutter was due to a dog attack at the age of 5 years old. So I don't know if the dog attack, had it, come on earlier. I don't know, but you know what? It is what it is. I still rock on. So
boom. Yes, babe. Happy days.
Okay, now, have you ever had speech therapy in school? And if you did, was it helpful?
So I did have a bit of it in school on one and in like in groups, and I found the a one on one and not that sort of helpful. I preferred it in a group setting and meeting others and talking over our experiences. Like I found that improved it a lot more than just a one on one basis.
See, and I am your opposite, Joe. I prefer one-on-one. Give me a one-on-one any day, because in a group, you know, I mean, I don't know why, Joe, but I get intimidated.
Yeah.
You know, by all those people. I'm good one-on-one. I mean, it's a party, a one-on-one. However, if it's a group, Joe, you know, I have a lot of, you know, difficulty with that. So, you know, That is interesting. So let's talk about school, Joe. All right. So School is rough for everybody, right, Joe? For everybody.
Yeah.
However, you know that if you have a stutter or, you know, a stammer, it is a little bit more challenging. How did you handle school?
It mostly, it was actually okay, because I did a lot of sports and fitness, so I had the outlet, and that a group of friends. So, but in lessons and during a register, especially, it was a challenge at times, and because for everyone else, if you get asked a question, you can sort of like just answer it. But if you have a stammer, it is a daily struggle, and I guess I felt a bit conscious of fact I had a stammer, and I tried to not let it stop me. But in school, it did a bit. Looking back, but then like I didn't actually have a lot of bullying at all for it. I think it was because I was always into sort of like in boxing and rugby and football, and so I always had that sort of like a reputation, and so if I got bullied, I could sort of like handle it.
Did you have to read out loud?
Yes.
I mean, I know you have an answer for that. I just have to ask that, Joe. I asked the hard questions. So in school, did you have to read out loud in your classes?
Yeah, like in sort of in English, especially sort of like I'll read out a passage in a book, and that never ended it well. no matter like sort of of how many times I like I practiced it in my head. It just always ended up in a stutter or a like a block.
I mean, ooh, I mean, I don't have to tell you, Joe. I mean that it's stressful. It's stressful. So you know that only happened to me one time, Joe. One time, and that was it. Because I mean, I sputtered, I spit, I stuttered, I blocked. I had repetitions, and then I heard everyone in the background, laughing and pointing. I said, "This will never happen again." And so I would avoid. I would raise my hand and go to the restroom. So I spent the majority of my school in the restroom because I was like, no, I'm not going to read out loud. No. It's all about survival. And so,
Yeah.
You do not forget a trauma like that. So I had to protect Pedro. And so what I did, I would raise my hand and just go to the restroom, hang out for 10 minutes and then come back. And then,
come back.
I don't have to read. Yes.
Oh.
It's only me.
Yeah.
It's only what I did. It's called survival. So yes, sir. Believe me. And here is the awesome connection that I hear from a lot of people who stutter in their school years. That they went into a group. Like, you did sports, boxing and rugby and, football, and that was your outlet. And that is awesome. That is awesome. I am not a sportsy kind of individual. However, I was on the drama team. And so, they said, Pedro, you can do anything. And they welcomed me in. And let me tell you, Joe, it was awesome because I belonged to a group,
that's it.
Who wanted me. And so, I am extremely happy to hear a correlation of, joining a sports, a club or a school group to help you handle the pressures. Because it's rough in school.
Sure.
It's rough in school.
Yeah, can be.
Yes, sir. Okay, now, do you have any advice for parents, teachers, and speech therapists with regards to people who stutter?
Oh, that's a good one. That I'll start off on teachers, because that's what we have just talked about. In terms of teachers, I'd say to try and not treat us as any different, because if someone has got a stutter and they are reminded of that each and every day, and if you sort of single all that out, it would just get worse. So I'd say I treat everyone who has a stutter as a normal person, because that is what they are. In terms of a parent, my mum and dad were absolutely amazing. Even my a stammer, like if I wanted a bit of time off, I got it, and just got left alone. If I if I wanted to improve my stammer, I got the like help and support I needed. That's why I suggest as a parent, I support them as much as you I can, but I try not to like push them into actually talking. In terms of a speech and a language therapist, I would suggest explore every technique, because what actually it works for one, it won't work for another. So explore every technique that could actually help someone.
See, and that is great advice, Joe. That is awesome advice. You know, and you were talking about with speech therapists, I'm exploring, the different techniques, because with having a stutter, they're all different. This is not a cookie cutter type of speech issue. Every person's stutter is different, and so what might work for one person, it might not work for another person. So that is awesome advice. Explore every technique, because you don't know what technique is going to work for you. So that is awesome advice, sir. Cool. Okay, now let's talk about our jobs.
Sure.
Have you ever experienced discrimination because of your stutter?
Not that I could think of. Like I saw an ex-army, and I've even in the army, I thought it would be an issue, but I never had a problem with at all. I just I got on with it, and everyone else did. I think in the army it's because of our training. If I actually had to sort of like I'll do something, I switched on, and my I stammer. It was actually a problem or like or a shuttle as a PT, a personal or trainer. Like I've had no issues at all. Like obviously it is a challenge because a PT is literally is talking each and every day and shouting like and demmering. So it is a like a lot of talking. But I find actually having a stammer, like it helps as a PT, because I'm more like caring. I find I can actually resonate with everyone I coach and draw on my own experiences.
See, and that is awesome. Okay, now I wrote down a whole bunch of notes, Joe. A whole bunch of notes. So I want to go back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So I want to go back, and you were in the Army, and that is fantastic. I thank you for your service. You know, I was also in the military here in the U.S. I was in the Air Force, and you know, like what you were talking about, I had to fight because they heard when I had joined, they had heard me have a couple of hiccups and blocks and repetitions. And so what happened is I had a high-ranking officer. He heard me. And so he pulled me out of a line. And so we walked into a room. And so he had told me that he heard my stutter, and that it might keep me from joining. And so I said, sir, it is not. It is not. And so what he did is he gave me a piece of paper that had, a bunch of, commands. And so he told me, if you can read all of these, you'll be good to go. And so I said, "Ooh, let me tell you, Joe, I called on the Lord. I said, I need to read each of these commands because I'm not going back home. There is nothing back home, nothing." And so I said, no, I am going to do this. And let me tell you, Joe, I pulled on everything and I read every command. And then, after I did the first one, I said, "Ooh, I can do this." And then I did the next one, and then the next one. And then after I was all done, he's like, "Hop on in." And I said, "Oh," but when I heard you, talking about you had to fight, so did I. However, I had the best time in the Air Force. Everyone was so helpful and supportive. Yeah. It was just, it was awesome. So I'm proud to hear that you were also in the Army. I mean, that is just awesome, sir. Awesome.
That's it.
Okay, now let's talk about this pandemic. It started. We halted here in the States in March of 2020. We halted everything. And so I used to work in a really nice building. And then I was told I now, I will now have to work from home. And so they handed me a headset and a webcam. And then I thought, can I do this? I was like, I don't know, Joe. I don't know if I can do this because, this is your job. This is your career. It pays all the bills. It's like, am I going to be able to do this? And so it has pushed us, people who stutter, it has pushed us out of our comfort zones. And now we do everything with a headset and a webcam. How did you navigate this new normal?
As I was in the army at this sort of start of COVID. So I still had that sort of a face to a face to a certain extent, but a lot of it, like a lot of it in our job, it did sort of turn on on Zoom and on phones, and I'm not a fan of phones at all. Sort of on calls, I found that a struggle. I'm much I prefer on Zoom or just in face to a face. So I guess I did actually struggle a bit because I missed that a face to a face.
Yeah, Joe, it was, I prefer, a face-to-face also. Because you know what? I got good at that, Joe. I got good at talking, one-to-one, a face-to-face. And now with COVID, oh no, now it's everything with Zoom and Teams and everything. And you were talking about the telephone. Woo, Joe, let me tell you, that telephone was my nemesis. It was my nemesis. And so I told myself, Joe, because, I couldn't make a phone call. Every time I would hear it ring, my heart would want to explode out of my chest. However, when I got older, I told myself, I need to do this because it's in every office. it's everywhere, Joe. You can't hide from it.
You don't get away.
Right. And so I told myself, I need to conquer this. And so what I did, I hopped on eBay. I bought an office telephone that looked, just like the ones that we had in my office at that time. And so what I did, I drew upon all my acting skills, Joe, all my acting and my drama years, school. And so what I did every day for half a year, I practiced making telephone calls and I practiced receiving telephone calls. So just, picture this. I'm in my bedroom and this telephone that's not hooked up to anything is on top of the bed. And so I'm going bring, bring, and then I'm picking up, hey, good morning. This is Pedro. So for half a year, Joe, I practiced and practiced, making calls and receiving calls. And here is what I learned. After that half year of every day, after that half year, it became boring. I had no more anxiety or fear or anything. it just became, a boring. And so, at my job, when I heard that a telephone ring, I picked it up. Hi, good morning. I'm Pedro. How may I help you? And it just rolled off the tongue, Joe. Roll. Yeah. But it took me half a year to get to that point. I mean, I don't have to tell you, Joe, that you and I, we have to work 100 times harder than everybody else.
Yeah.
And this is the truth, the God's honest truth. We have to work harder than everybody else in order to do the most easiest of tasks for everybody else. And so, so yeah, the telephones were just horrendous, but I got over it. And now I love the phone. I love the phone. I'm on my phone like 24/7. It's just me. It's just me, Joe. Okay, I might want to, talking about the, telephones. How about we talk about, how was it, ordering at a restaurant?
So ordering at a restaurant, it can either go one of two ways. It's either okay or it's a disaster, and I block. It's okay if I'm ordering it first, but if I'm sort of I'm last at a table, I get all that sort of like a pressure each and every time, and I'm like I'm looking at it. I know what I want, and then I say it, and either I block or I stutter. But as with a phone, I think it is just a practice issue. If you I keep on ordering and going up in coffee shops and pubs, it will improve. It's like anything. If you just sort of stick at it, it will improve. I never actually sort of like don't order I always at least attempt it.
Ooh, Joe, I mean, you are spilling some golden nuggets. I'm writing them all down, Joe. I'm writing them all down. You are spilling some golden nuggets. And let me tell you, Joe, you hit it right on the nose. Practice. Anyway. Practice. You hear, a lot of people talk about practice makes perfect, but I do not believe in perfection. What I believe in is that, practice makes permanent. It makes,
nice.
Permanent, because I had a hard time with my name. Pedro Pena, those P's, they would not come out, Joe. They would not come out. And so what I did for a whole year, Joe, I practiced in front of my mirror in the bathroom. Pedro Pena. Hi, I'm Pedro. Hi, good morning. I'm Pedro Pena. I mean, I practiced every day, Joe, every day for a whole year on just, my name. Because, I mean, I wish I had an easier name. But, Joe, we are not dealt those cards. So I had to say, okay, so in order to have me, to have my name come out, I need to practice. And you make a wonderful point. Every coach will tell you, if you want to get better at anything, you need to practice. And this is hard work, Joe. This is hard work. But what I truly believe, because I've done it. If you put in the hard work, it's going to pay off. It's going to pay off.
100%.
Yeah, so you make an
100%.
excellent point. Woo! Let me tell you, practice. Okay, now, do you think that it is important for people who stutter to have a thick skin?
I think it's important. Of everyone, I'd have a thick a skin, but especially if you've got a stutter, because most of the each time everyone actually encounters okay, and they are polite and friendly, but you will have a certain view who are just aren't nice, and you have to be prepared for that.
Oh, yes, sir. Because, let me tell you, because, there are a lot of people out there who
Yes.
I believe are not educated on what a stutter is. And they mock you and they tease you. And, it's just like, so I have learned over the years. It took me a long time, Joe, a long time. However, I grew a thick skin so I am at a point in my life, you can tell me anything. It's going to bounce just, right off of me, because you aren't telling me what I haven't told myself a million times for like 20 years. So it's like, if you want to, tease me, or mock me, you go on right ahead. It's going to bounce, off of me. And that tells me more, about who you are. Because, hurt people, and so, I've learned over the years, it don't even bother me now. So, yeah. Okay, now, you were talking about the pub earlier. So I want to ask you, because, I'm curious. I'm from Texas. I'm curious. So what is the legal age of drinking in your area?
18 is the legal age. Yeah, I think it's it is a 21 in Texas.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so, you are over 18. I can assume that, you're over 18. And that you have been to a pub or two.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, definitely have.
All right. So I want to ask you this because, I've been to a lot of pubs. I've been all over the world, Joe. And so what I have, noticed that, if I have a couple of drinks, only two, I'm good. I don't even hear a stutter. I don't even pay attention to my stutter. I'm just having a great time. Have you also experienced that also, or is it the opposite?
100%. I have, mate. 100%. If I have a couple of drinks, I'm not actually stammering at all. Yeah.
It's weird. And there are a bunch of people, Joe, a bunch of people who said, Pedro, if you can drink all day, every day, you'll be fine. It's like, no, I cannot do that. I have to work, I have to drive. And no.
Yes.
That is not a viable option. So yeah, no, I can, yeah. But you know what? It's interesting.
Isn't it? Yeah. Proper interesting.
I tell you, sir, that's a head scratcher. All right. So let's talk about secondary behaviors. A lot of people call them a crutch, or an aid or a helpful whatever. If you're having a block, if you're having a repetition, do you either tap your head or tap your toe or tap your foot or close your eyes or move your arms to help you get out of a block?
The only thing I do is I do sort of I'll move my arms if I'm sort of like I'll block in, and because I feel it will help. I'm not sure if it does help a lot is just a coping mechanism. And then if I've got a bad one, I'll try and breathe in, and then I'll talk on the out breath. But in certain situations and times, even if I try that, it's not working, and I just have to end up forcing it out, unfortunately.
Ooh, Joe, I have a lot of crutches or techniques or helpful hints. I mean, I do accents, but not well, Joe. So I will not do a Cockney accent because I don't want to get angry emails from anyone from the UK. But I do accents. My arms go all over the place. I close my eyes. I tap my head. For me, and we're all different. For me, it's called survival. And if a technique, does not work, like what you were talking about, I push through. I push through it, and it comes out. Because what I had learned is I can do it. I never tell myself I cannot do anything. I don't. That's the old Pedro. Now I can do it. However, I'll do it badly, but I will still do it. I will still do it because I know that I can do it. And then I will practice and practice and practice until I get to a point where it just kind of flows. So yeah. Ooh, we have rough lives, huh, Joe?
Yes, definitely, mate.
I'm exhausted just right now. Crazy. Okay, so do you ever experience phases in your speech? Like on Monday, everything comes out. And then on Tuesday, nothing comes out. And then on Wednesday, half the things come out. Do you experience that in your life, Joe?
Yeah, so I have up and down days in terms of my own speech. So I did used to get angry at it if I had a bad day. But I've learned to actually accept it, because it is natural, and it's just like in life, in life you have a good day and a bad day. Yeah, but it's just a constant up and down. But that is natural in every area of life. So I don't I get that upset anymore.
Oh yeah, Joe. Let me tell you, Joe, I have days where everything comes out and people tell me, you don't really stutter, you're acting. All you want is attention. And what? I have no control over this. It comes out when it wants to come out. I mean, had I had control, it would never come out. But no, it comes out whenever it wants to come out. And there are days when everything just comes out and it's a happy day. And then I have days where it is a constant struggle, but I keep moving forward, Joe. I don't quit. I keep on, moving, because what I have to say, it matters. My voice matters. And so I'm going to get it out. It may take me 8 hours, but it's going to come out. Just FYI. All right. So here is a hot topic, Joe. We have a couple of hot topics, but this is a hot topic. I ask everyone, every guest, all 124 of them, and their answers are split right down the middle. So it's, it's just, we're all different, Joe. We're all different. So I want to ask you this hot topic question. So here we go. I got to hold it up because it's hot. Hold on. So, so do you let others help you finish your sentences? Dun, dun, dun.
I've done in the in past, but I try not to now, because if you are sort of are letting people all finish it, you're not actually like improving, and you just are stagnant. And if you are talking into someone who's actually interested, like they'll wait, and that's why I try and finish everything I say. I don't. I think it's a good idea to let someone else. I'll say it.
I hear you, Joe. I hear you. We're all different. The old Pedro, oh no, don't you dare. Don't you dare finish my sentence. Because I would get I would be enraged. It's like, no, I know what I want to say. It's in here. It's in here. It just won't come out here. It's going to come out, I swear. The older Pedro, because you know what, I'm old, Joe. I'm exhausted. And so, we're all different. And so for me, I can only speak for Pedro. If you know what I'm trying to say, and you better get it right, because if you don't, that's it for you. But for me, if you know, I mean, I welcome it. Help me, help you, help me, because I believe that teamwork makes the dream work. But we're all different. We're all different. So, I respect everyone's answer. So I thank you, sir, for that. Okay, now, so have you ever experienced, negative self-talk? And if you did, how did you handle it?
Is that from others, or from myself?
It's in your head. It's in your head, and it's telling you can't do this, you can't do that. Yeah. It's
self-talk. I just don't. It just sort of connects. I do. At times I put myself down. But if I try and I stop myself before it gets too much. Because if you are sort of constantly putting it in yourself down in terms of like, stammering, I'm stuttering, it won't help because it's just going to make it worse. So I try and be confident in my own self talk, and try and put myself into a good environment and headspace, instead of a negative one. Because in a negative headspace, it won't like improve. But in a positive headspace, it will.
Sir, you hit it right on the head. I mean, yes. I mean, I've had it for, a couple of decades. And so, I gave him a name. I called him Oscar the Grouch. And so when he pops up and talks about, negativity, I counter it with my positivity. And It's like, no, I'm going to do this. And so I shut him down. Because, I mean, you made a great point. It's all about having a positive headspace. If you have that positive headspace, woo, the possibilities are endless. However, if you have that, negative headspace, I mean, that can just ruin your day, your week, your month. I mean, the mind is powerful. It is powerful. And so, whenever I hear, Oscar, tell me that I can't, I counter it with I can, I will, and then I'm going to do it. And so, I shut him down. But I mean, ooh, yes, sir. I've had, a couple of decades of it, but no, I counter it. I shut him down because I will do it. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
All right. So here is a head scratcher. Okay. I ask all my guests, and their answers are split right down the middle. So I want to ask you this head scratcher question. So when you are alone, can you speak without stuttering?
I can, and it's the it's save on video if I'm talking into my myself, is no a stammer or stutter. I think it's because if it is, it's just sort of you, and there is no a pressure at all in terms of speed or just outside influence. And so I think it's because of a lack of pressure. I find if I have a lot of pressure, I own stutter is a lot worse.
So I am your opposite, Joe. When I'm alone, I still block. I still repeat. You know, when I wake up in the morning, you know, and I'm going over my calendar in my head, I'm talking out loud. You know, I talk to myself, as we all do, and so I'm answering myself, and you know, I still block. I still repeat. I still stutter. It's like, well, you know what? We're all different. We're all different. Okay, now, has this ever happened to you? Okay. You know, let's say you had a doctor's appointment, a medical appointment, or any type of appointment, and then you walk in, and then there is an admin person at the desk, and they greet you. Hi, good morning. What is your name? And then you have a block Joe. But I'm not talking any old block Joe. This is a block where it's taking just a little bit longer. And the admin person asks you, did you forget your name? Has that ever happened to you, Joe?
Hundreds of times in different situations. I think I now see it as like a joke. But I did used to sort of get upset about it. But it's just it's one of them. If you have a stutter, your own name is the toughest. It's word ever. Everyone who has a stutter, I can I relate to that. Definitely happened.
Ooh, yeah, Joe. I mean, if I had a quarter for every time, I would have a couple of Range Rovers and Jaguars and Mercedes in my driveway. And so, I mean, the old Pedro, Joe, I would get upset. I would rage on them. However, now, as you know, I'm older. And so now I just educate. I raise awareness. And so, I tell them I have a speech impediment. I have a stutter. So you may see my eyes close. My arms go all over the place. You may hear me have a block. You may hear me having a repetition. It's just me. All that I want from you is your patience, your professionalism, and your respect, and your eye contact. I may not give you eye contact. However, you know what, Joe? I'm still, I'm learning, how to give eye contact. But I want from the other person, I want your eye contact. I may not give you mine yet, but I do want your eye contact. And so, now it's just all about education and raising awareness. And so that way, for the next time they have another person in their office that has a stutter, they are more equipped now to help that person. So it's all about education. It's all about raising awareness. So yeah. All right, Joe. So here is a deep question. It's a strong question. And, I've asked all 124 people who have been on my podcast. I asked them this, and their answers are split right down the middle. I respect everyone's answer. So I want to ask you this, Mr. Joe Dilling. Do you consider stuttering a disability?
I think it can be. It can be in certain situations and people. For me, it has not been. I've pushed on. But if you don't have the help and support, I feel it can be, because it can impact a person in a massive way in terms of jobs, like in dating and having a social life. So I think I'm just gonna sort of like go 50-50. Like it depends on the like a person in question.
All right, sir. I thank you for that. Okay, now, did you ever think that your stammer might hinder your career path?
I thought it would in the army and as a personal trainer. But as I've talked about, it's not at all. It is a challenge, but I find if I'm just up front, and I tell my employer is actually okay, and everyone I coach him in person. I fine about it, and so I'd say it as not impacted in me.
All right, sir. So here is another hot topic, and you had briefly had touched on it, but I want the whole story because this is a podcast that's global. All right. So let's talk about this hot topic on, the dating. As you know, dating is hard for everybody. However, if you have a stutter, it's a little bit more challenging. How do you navigate dating with having a stammer?
So I've been on dating apps such as Tinder and Hinge, and I'm usually I'm just upfront about it, and if they're okay with that, all good. If they aren't, well, I'm not going out on a date. I think if you've got a stutter and you are dating, I think it's so important to just be upfront about it, because if you I try and hide it, it will come out in time. And if you actually sort of like them, and you should I tell them, because it's a part of you, and it is what makes sort of you what you are.
See, and I love how how you were telling me just be upfront about it, because I can't hide this, Joe.
No, I can't either.
There's no hiding this. Right, there is no hiding this. What you hear is what you hear, and if you like it, fantastic. If you don't like it, have a nice day. And keep on trucking, because I cannot hide this. I mean, I have a stutter, and so if you want to hang out with me, that's fantastic. But it is important to just put that out there, and so that way if it's a yes or if it's a no. If it's a no, there are millions of other girls out there. So it's all good. It's all good. All right, Joe. So what do you think about all this new technology? We have Google Home, we have Alexa, and we also have Siri. Do you think all this new technology is helpful or harmful for people who stutter?
So I think it is it can sort of be used as a crutch, and it can actually stop you from actually speaking. So sort of like let's look at it in terms of ordering a takeaway. Everything's online now. It's so easy, just sort of I'll click and it's ordered, and then it 10 years ago it was all on a phone or in a shop. So I think has sort of stopped us from actually having it into a talk. So I think it is a bad thing. But in terms of social or media, I think it has improved it in terms of stammering and raising awareness. So I think it's again it's a 50-50.
Oh yes, I mean, let me tell you, Joe, I have a rough time with them. I've tried them. I have a huge issue in that they don't give you time to respond.
Yes.
They may give you 1 to 1.3 seconds to respond. And I need, a half an hour just to breathe. Okay, Joe, I need to meditate. I need you to, do my mindful meditation. I got to do my breathing. I mean, at least half an hour, but they only give you a short amount of time, to respond. And then I get, frustrated, irritated, agitated, all those words. So yeah. However, I do have some good news. So, I was a part of a couple of research studies, and there are two colleges here in the States, and they are working on an algorithm to help people who stutter to to go and use the Google Home or the Alexa and or the Apple one that I have a hard time with the S's. So yeah. So I have hope. I have hope, Joe. I really do.
Hopefully.
Okay, so what is a challenge speech-wise that you had to overcome, and how did you do it?
I think, for me, it's always it's been a public speaking, because that's always a fear I've had, and I think it's a fear lot of stutterers I have. I would actually say I've conquered it yet. I think everything's a work in progress. But I have improved at it, and that was sort of from working up I think it's every time. I didn't start off and try and talk in front of 30 people. I started off in front of 2 or 3, and built it over a period of time. And now as a PT, and last year I've spoken in front of 50 plus people. So I have improved an awful lot.
Well, that is awesome, sir. That is awesome. Woo! I mean, and that takes work. Practice.
Yes, it does. Practice.
That's why I tell everybody. Just a whole bunch of practice. All right, sir. So here is a deep question. So I ask everybody on my podcast, and I respect everyone's answers. So I want to ask you this, sir. So do you think that it's okay to stutter, or is it important to keep chasing the fluency gods?
I think it's okay to have a stutter, because it is a part of you, and it makes sort of up of you what you are, and I think if it's a part of you, you should look to improve it, but never sort of chasing like a perfection. I think it should just always be a work in progress.
All right, sir. I thank you for that. And so, what has your stutter taught you?
I think the our main one is resilience in my self my actions. I feel because of my stutter, I am a resilient person, and I don't actually let a lot of stuff stop me. And I also I think it is like it's taught me to sort of like be apathetic towards others, because I stand and resonate with what everyone else is sort of like struggling in with and I'm facing.
Oh, yeah, Joe. Let me tell you, resilience, empathy. Ooh, yes, sir. I am right there with you. Because every time that I get knocked down, and believe me, Joe, I'm not a boxer. I don't do rugby. I don't do it. But when they knock me down because of my speech, I get right back up. And I keep on trucking. And then also, like you, my stutter has also taught me, it has also taught me, empathy, and then also courage, because what I tell everyone, Joe, I tell everybody, people who stutter, we are courageous, we are creative, we are resilient, and we are resourcewul. And I tell everybody, you want us on your team. You need us on your team because, we work 100 times harder than anybody else. And we are awesome, truly awesome. So yes, sir. I thank you for your answer, sir. Awesome. Okay, now, so what advice would you give to another person who stutters?
I keep on going, because what you have to say is important, and it matters. So, and even if it takes a bit longer, it's still important. Everyone deserves a voice, even if you have a stutter.
That is awesome advice, sir. Ooh, Joe, that was good advice. Good advice, sir. Okay, now here is our last question, and it's a doozy. It's a big question. So here we go. So I got to hold the paper up because it has, it's a big one. So if you had the opportunity to give insight about stuttering on a world stage, what message would you convey to the world?
I think it's similar to a lot of what I've said. It's just that if someone has got a stutter, it's not a bad a thing. is actually a like a good thing. Because if you have a stutter, and you've have got many strengths and traits and experiences, and that will improve any team organization. So if you've you know someone who has a stammer, and they are strong and willing.
See, and that is an awesome message, sir. That is awesome. Woo! All right. So I I was on my Instagram, as we all are at 2 a.m. in the morning because I can't sleep. So I was on my Instagram and then I came upon your page, the Stammer PT, and I was like, whoa, this is awesome. I want for you to tell me everything about the Stammer PT.
So I coach in person and also online. Online as a personal trainer. I just launched a coaching program for someone who has a stammer, and it is it's using the exercise to improve our confidence, and thus a person's stammer. And on my on socials, I try and I raise awareness of stammering, and confidence, and exercise, and how it's all linked to because I believe exercise, it can improve a person's stammer. And my message is everyone who has a stammer deserves a voice, and that's what I try and promote each day.
Let me tell you, Joe, that is awesome. That is awesome. And then also what I have learned is, I only started to exercise a year ago. And so what I do every other day is, I bike ride. However, I do it at night because it's peaceful at night. It's peaceful. I bike ride like on average for 20 miles. And I have to tell you, Joe, at the end, I feel great. I feel energized. And then the day after, I'm just hitting it. I don't know what it is because I'm not an expert, but from my personal experience, the day after I exercise, I feel fantastic. Now, if I don't do it, Joe, let me tell you, if I don't do it, I have no energy for nothing. For nothing. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to talk to nobody. and and so now I push myself. Not every day, but every other day. I will hop on that bike. I have a speaker, a Bluetooth. I jam out. I may hit the high notes at like 9 p.m. at night, but it's okay because I'm all by myself. And it is peaceful. But after I'm all done, Joe, I feel great. I have energy. Everything is just, a great. And so, I believe in exercise. So, that is great of your program. I may get your program because, I am all about helping everybody, support everybody. So, so now, Joe, okay, I found out, 24 hours, ago, that my podcast is now in 120 countries.
Wow.
Across the globe on 6 continents. I am #all blessed. I'm all blessed. Okay, now, what if my amazing, my wonderful, and my courageous, a global, listeners wanted to reach out to you? What is the best way to have them do that?
Instagram or Facebook at the Stammer PT, and that's got all my links on it too.
All right, sir. I will have all of those links in the podcast, show notes, and so that way anybody from anywhere in the world can go and click on it and see how amazing that you are, sir. And I want to, thank you, Joe. You are a huge inspiration to everybody. You have such a positiveness, and I wish you nothing but success from here on out. And so I want to say just, thank you. I've had the best time talking with you, sir, here today.
Awesome, mate. I loved it. And I appreciate it. Jumping on. Cheers, mate.
All right, sir. You have an awesome day. Take care, be well, and stay safe.
And you, mate.
Thank you, sir.
If you like this podcast, head on over to Apple Podcasts. Subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you for listening, and we will talk again.